Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hopkins, and this is your best life defined. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. You know, you wake up some days and you just think to yourself, why do I do it? Why do I do it? And then you get a message from someone who says, hey, thanks, or you get a like on your YouTube channel or your podcast, one of the podcast apps. You get a message, hey, someone liked your stuff, and you're like, thank goodness. There's some value in that. I see why social media is so attractive. It's because with very little effort, we actually have the opportunity to be liked. You know, feels good. I was looking back over all the podcasts I did, and more than that, I've kind of been watching the news a little bit, and you know, this is about me reflecting on my life, about me spending time with me, so I get to know who I am. It's kind of cool. My wife thinks I'm crazy sometimes. Not so much anymore. I think she realizes that maybe this is a avenue, a way for me to vent some of the things I have in my head, because I'm always moving forward, moving towards something. And I was thinking about how unfair life has been. I mean, I'm sure no matter where you are in your life right now, there are some things in your life where you're like, Jesus, why me? Why me? And some of those things really hurt. Some of those things really hurt. But I think like the struggle that we face, you know, with a bad childhood or whatever it is we have to go through, I think the other side of that is that it's just simply the reality that sometimes life is going to hurt. Sometimes you're going to wake up and you're going to get hit square in the face with something that devastates you. Because that, for all the sorrow and heartache that comes with it, it's just life. And what's important is that we take those situations and we turn them into something better. When my dad died, I never imagined I would ever be sitting here. I can tell you that. I had no idea who I was after he died. Not because he encompassed so much of my life. What was strange for me was that when he died, all of a sudden nothing I believed mattered anymore. For years, I'd ran off at the mouth about this. You got to do this. You got to do that. This is what you got to do. Well, that sucks. That's stupid. Why are you doing? For what? For what? So I can wake up dead one day? I walked around angry. I was all shielded up in case someone decided to love me and then leave me. Did it with my wife. Did it with my family. Did it with my friends. Sometimes life's going to hurt. Sometimes you're going to have absolutely no control in the things that are going on around you. You have two choices, basically. You can shield up. You can do everything you can to protect yourself. I mean, it's like Brene Brown, she says it in her book, The Power of Vulnerability. She says, foreboding joy is, I think, how she puts it. And that's where we'll be in the moment, like even right now, we'll be really happy thinking about how great our life is going, and all of a sudden we'll get some scary thought about what could happen. It's called foreboding joy, or at least that's what Brene Brown calls it. And what it is it's a way to stave off having to deal with catastrophe, with tragedy. If I look at it and I don't enjoy it as much, then it won't hurt as bad when they leave, or when it does happen, or if it does happen. Oh my God. I can't enjoy that amazing moment too much. Yes, you can. And you should. Because sometimes it hurts. Sometimes living your best life hurts. Sometimes living your best life even requires you to make decisions that make you ache inside, make your heart ache inside. You can't fix them. If it's a person in your life that is causing you your pain, that is making you wonder why you continue, is not allowing you to live up to your fullest expectations, maybe you have to do what hurts. Maybe you have to say, can't do that anymore. I've done it. It's tough. It's hard. It's not easy for me. Every so often I look at myself and I'll start down that road of rationalization. I'm like, well, you know, maybe this time, maybe I can just jump back in and we can be different than we were. No, it doesn't work that way. The way it works is you jump back in and you get your ass kicked again, and then you come out and you're even more hurt than you were before. The other side of this whole thing is when life hands us that crap, You know, that stuff we just can't imagine came our way. We're like, I didn't see it coming. Why me? Why me? You're not the only one in the world who's experienced loss. You're not the only one in the world who's asked yourself, why in the hell did it happen to me? It's happening to every one of us. We are all on a collision course with some very painful moments in our life. That's what scares me about this relationship I have with my wife. Sandy, she's just amazing. And sometimes we have bumps in the road. We're still learning, we're still growing, and it takes some flexibility and some time. But amid all that, one of the biggest things that I fear is having to say goodbye, because I know it's coming. All right, there's no fooling me about how this thing ends. I've watched it. I seen it with Sandy's mom and dad, and I seen it with my dad, and it happens all around us. There comes a point when immense hurt and pain comes from all the love we share. But God forbid, that's the last reason in the world we want to actually step away and say, oh, okay, I'm not going to love that deeply. I'm going to hold some back in case they leave me. In case they find out I'm flawed, in case they find out I'm not the perfect man or the perfect partner or the perfect lover or the perfect husband. I'll just hold some back. Don't hold it back. Don't hold any of it back. Because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. See, I'm working hard at this. Every day, work hard at this. Every day I spend a lot of time asking myself questions, why? My wife, she goes off to watch my granddaughter, and you know what I do? I get podcasts done so I have the entire week to hang out with her. I don't have any interruptions. We can go do this, we can go do that, and it's because I want to make those experiences I have with her the best they can be. I want to capture every moment I can of this life I'm living amid this. Now, does this compromise on the quality of my podcast? Well, maybe it does. Maybe it does because I'm not putting in the time, but believe me, I spend an hour and a half a day working on this, just getting ready to sit down and record these. Just to sit down and have this conversation with you with one goal. My goal to inspire you to wake up and say, you know what, here's a different way of looking at things. I'm going to try this for a minute. Instead of doing it like everyone else, I'm going to step back and I'm going to say, wait a minute, okay. And this is an example. This is a prime opportunity right here. How many people are having a conversation with you about you right now? How many people in the next 8 hours are going to sit down and have a conversation that is directed at you and where you can go? Not telling you what to do, not telling you what you need to buy to be successful, but rather just telling you, okay, here's your moment. I'm telling you that life is going to hurt. Sometimes life kicks us right where it counts. Knocks us to the ground with heartache. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to deal with that? Because it will come. It comes for all of us. All the fear and the questioning and the doubt. What are you going to do with it? Now, most people aren't even going to talk about it. I can tell you that right now. In fact, you might be feeling uncomfortable thinking about, nothing hurts me. I'm a tough guy. Maybe so. I get that. I was a tough guy too. Tough guys aren't tough guys. Tough guys are just wimps with a lot of armor on. Man, don't get me started. I watch a movie now with my wife. We watch a sensitive movie. I'm crying. I'm the first one crying now. That's what happens. Thanks, Brene Brown. That's what happens when you actually decide to go ahead and be authentic. Not authentic to the world, authentic to yourself. That's when you go ahead and show up in your own life and you say, you know what, my name's Chris Hawkins and I'm a crybaby. Things bother me. I've mentioned this before, but it's worth repeating. One of the biggest struggles I had when my wife and I were first working on our relationship, and even before that, is I hated those love, feel good, the drama between a couple, on TV. I don't know. I can't think of the name of any right now, but where they kind of meet and then they kind of fall in love and then they fall away and then they fall back in love, and it's this perfect romance. And amid that, you see just simple moments that are just so amazing that's created by the director and by the script. Of course, it's all staged, right? I remember I hated those movies because I could never find that with my wife. I was never able. There was always so much baggage So many things I'd done to her where she wasn't going to just roll over, let me see her belly, be authentic with me. She was going to hold something back just in case. Just in case the asshole shows back up. Just in case that mean guy that I used to be shows back up. It used to hurt the hell out of me. Hurts me. I'm like, oh. And it don't take much. And now it doesn't take much either. She says one thing about what I'm doing or where I'm at. And I'm like, I'm like, how can I fix it? I'm going to fix this thing. I'm going to be irresistible. We're not exempt. That's what's interesting about it. We're not exempt. Everyone who is alive right now, anyone who is listening to this, if you're sitting there right now, you are going to see some hurt in your life. There's going to be some pain that you will never be able to prepare yourself for. Not in the way that we usually do, where we deny and we throw shields up. But the best way to prepare for the pain that might come in your life, or I shouldn't say might, that will show up, it's going to show up, is to capture every moment of what you have. Every moment you're waking up today, all right, you got struggle to face. Make the best of it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Embrace the people you love. Support them. And at least when it comes, you can say, well, damn, I did my best. I did my best to be the best husband, to be the best dad, to be there for my brother. Sometimes it can't happen. Sometimes it's not going to happen. No matter what you do, sometimes it's just going to hurt. You got to work past that too. Sometimes it's not about fixing something. Sometimes it's about making tough decisions based on the fact that the people around you will not give you the respect you're due, will not keep you into the place where you need to be. They make it difficult. There's always guilt and shame and disrespect and just a lack of connection to who you are and what you need. It hurts. It hurts, but sometimes you have to just do it. Sometimes you have to walk away from that. Because while you're in that mess, while you continue to go into that mess, you are never free to fully become the person you can be. You're never free to truly be you and embrace who you are. I sit here right now amid all kinds, rivers of shame. Rivers of shame. You know why? Because when I look at it, when I sit here and I think about what I do every day, this is nothing to be ashamed of. I shouldn't be ashamed because I'm willing to put my face out there, that I'm really willing to take the time for you, to ask you questions and to enlighten you and to give you the insight to ask yourself questions about who you are and where you're going. Here's what would suck. This would really suck. That I don't do this, that I just stop. I take everything down. And the one thing you needed to know, the one trigger you needed, that would take you to that place where you want to be, that will give you the motivation to do the things you want to do, disappears. Maybe it's not this podcast. Maybe knowing that things are going to hurt and you have to just stand up on your feet and you have to say, okay, it hurts. I know it hurts. This is not going to define me. I will defy this. Maybe this is that one. And if it's not, I'm good. I'm good, because it is for me. And sitting here talking to you, I realize what I've done wrong. I realize that no matter where I am right now, there is some place I need to be. And it's better than this. And I can do better. I can be better than I am right now. And that's really all we have, right? Talk about predictability. You want to stay in your house and live the life you live because you want to be, well, it's predictable. Nothing in life is predictable. The situation we're in right now proves that. How many of us would have expected that we would be isolated from our neighbors because of a virus? How many people in California would have ever expected that they would have the most outrageous, massive wildfires in the history of the country? How would Texas have imagined that amid all of this stuff we're going through and the economic downturn, that a hurricane is barreling for their coast? Forget about predictability. Forget about it. Forget about preparing for what could happen. It's about what is. And part of it comes down to accepting that sometimes life hurts. Sometimes it hurts to have to do what we have to do. But that's not the reason we do it. We do it because of the outcome. We do it because we've picked something that's important enough for us, that holds enough value in our life that we say, yeah, I'm going to do it, even if it hurts. Even if it hurts. And when life hands you crap that hurts and it's beyond your control, What do you do with it? You can quit, or you can pick yourself up. And the world doesn't care. That's really what's interesting about this is a lot of us actually think that, it matters. People think, and even I do when I sit down here, I think, well, I wonder if they're interested in what I'm saying. I wonder if they really care. The only portion of this that really matters to you is the portion that helps you. You may not care about who I am. You may not care about my family or what I've done. That's why I try not to spend a lot of time on that. The world doesn't care where you are. The world just goes on with you or without you. And when the world decides to hand you some ugliness, it's going to hurt. And we get that choice. That's when we make that choice. So I guess I'm closing by saying, hey, listen, wake up. Life's going to hurt. Wake up. Life's going to hand you crap you don't want, you don't need, you don't think you can handle, and you still got to get it done. And it starts with taking a look at all the things in your life that you have, embracing every moment, and don't hold anything back. Because sometimes it hurts. Sometimes you put all your effort into it. You put everything you can into it, and it ends up hurting. But you can't hold it back. Life's to be lived. These moments are to be lived. Everything you do, 100%. Love them as much as you can. Show as much kindness as you can. Empathy, compassion. Be the best person you can be. Because something's going to happen. It's going to change. And you're going to find yourself in the pit. Because sometimes life hurts. Damn. Get over it. Hey guys, listen, I really appreciate it. I'm sitting here, I'm jumping on these things because I think, you know what, I want you to think about your life. This isn't about me. Don't spend any time thinking about me. Ask yourself some questions about what I've talked about, what I've said. Go back and listen to some of these podcasts and ask yourself, well, how does it apply to me? Because I guarantee you this. I'll never ask you for anything. I'm trying to give you something. My biggest fear is that I would actually forego this, that I would actually say, oh, this doesn't work, and I'd stop. And I'd stop short of helping someone who really needs to hear it. I'd stop short, just short, of some person who is ready to hear what I have to say, and I failed them. And more than that, I would fail myself. Because this is about me. It's about me waking up every day and giving myself a platform to ask myself questions about who I am and why I believe what I believe. And there's nothing like spending time with yourself to clear your head, to give you new ideas and new insight and new inspiration amid all the pain and the heartache that life hands us. Take a minute to sit with yourself. Take a minute to shut all the noise out. Take a minute to sit down and ask yourself some questions about who you are and get to know yourself better. And I guarantee it's things like that that will allow you to live a better life. So keep that in mind. As always, I appreciate you showing up. I hope you'll show up. Please subscribe to this podcast. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate you stopping by. I'm not sure where you're listening to it at, but as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.